Good morning. Welcome to Shake Talk. Today is Friday. This is where we shake up your wake up with the best breakfast ever. This morning, I am having my vanilla isoline with the fruits. Now, I talked about the fruits before, and people are still posting, oh, I'm doing this juice fast. Honey, Island, it's not necessary. Don't go in, doesn't matter. That's a whole other conversation. Isogenics fruits, 30 fruits in this little cup right here. So it cost me like $1.25 for one serving. So good morning, good morning. So this morning we are talking about, I spilled on my desk. This morning we are talking about, give me a sec, I'm sidetracked. I have to clean my desk because I got electronics here. Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about, do you respond or do you react to something? This is a really great observation about yourself. So yesterday, good morning everybody who's jumping in. So yesterday, there was a situation on a Facebook post where somebody posted something incorrect. So in Isogenics, we have to be compliant. We can't use medical claims. Like we can't even say headache or migraine or like anything like that, right? So somebody had posted in one of our groups the word migraine. So I commented on the post and I said, sorry, we don't treat or cure diseases because we don't. We're food, right? I told you, shakes, it's food. So I commented and said, I'm going to send you a private message. So I sent a private message that said, hey, can you just reword it so that it's this instead or something like that? She flew off the handle. She's like, what? Who do you think you are? Are you a doctor with a PhD? And just went a little bit wackadoodle, right? And I'm trying to answer, this is just on a Facebook or messaging, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to teach you how to be compliant. Please connect with your sponsors so they can help you understand this. Oh, I understand, da, da, da. And that just, again, and I was like, whoa. So what I did was I reached out to teach somebody something legitimate with regard to our business. Now, could I have just deleted her post? I'm admin in the group. Could I have just deleted the post and let it go? Sure. But then what if she went looking for her and then she'd be like, hey, what happened? And I don't do things behind people's backs. So I told her why it needed to be changed. And she flew off the handle. Okay, so that's the story. So the question is, do you respond or react? Because she could have simply said, thank you. I didn't know, I'll look at it. Thanks for the help on rewording it. Or she could have said, okay, I'll just delete it. I don't know how to do this. She could have said, I don't understand compliance, whatever. But no, she had to attack me because I guess that she felt attacked. Like when I read the rest of the messages and everything like that, and I woke up to you in another scrolling of messages from her, she felt attacked, right? That was not my intention. This is why text messaging and Messenger is really difficult for communication. But she felt attacked. So I kept saying, I apologize. This is not meant to offend you. This is not an attack. It is simply information. We cannot say, does Isogenics do this and label a medical term? We can't. We are a food company. We are highly regulated by the FDA and Health Canada and every other health organization in the 15 countries that we are in. So it was just a conversation that I tried to have with her, and she reacted and overreacted. So my question to you is, when somebody pushes one of your buttons, right, when you get triggered, use whatever terminology you want, and if you don't know that you're getting triggered or they push your buttons, notice when you get PO'd, right? Notice when you get ticked off, because that's not your normal state. Your normal state is calm, happy, exciting, right? So notice when somebody triggers you, when they tick you off. That's what I call the triggers. Is if all of a sudden you're elevated to a point of, what? Why are you saying that to me? Then you're like, whoa, something just triggered me, right? Now, did the other person walk up to you and punch you in the nose? If they did, then you probably have a reason to be that way. But this lady yesterday had no reason to be so offended by me correcting her on how she wrote the post about using a medical term. And then she went on and on, like, I'm not gonna show you who it is, all that kind of stuff, right? But I want to show you how the conversation went on, and you can see how many blues there were, because I'm the blue, right? So here's where it all started. Okay, so I want to hide this lady's name. Okay, so here's, right, can I do that? Can I hold my finger there just a second? Let me put something else there. There. Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to protect privacy here. All right. I'm really not very good at this, right? But you can see, no, you can't because I'm pushing the screen. Okay, so you can see how I started, and then she just started in on me. Do you see? And I'm just like, seriously, right? Oh, wait, it keeps on going, right? So she says, pose, look, this person did this, and this person. Like, she went looking for people who did what she did to prove herself right. I don't care how many people are wrong, it's wrong. You can't say, oh, 8 people did it, so I can do it too. It's kind of like what happened at Yale yesterday, right? Where the security guard questioned a Black American for sleeping in her dorm. You know, you can't do that, it's wrong. So my question is, when something happens, do you respond or do you react? If you don't like how somebody feels about something you said, or if you don't like how what something was said to you makes you feel, right? Because that's the most important. Then take a breath and go, is this valid? That's a good question. Is this valid? So if I would have said to her yesterday, listen, lady, your post was non-compliant. I've deleted it. Have a nice day. That would be rude, sharp, no explanation, right? And she'd been like, what? I don't get it. And then she could feel a little offended, right? But I didn't. I said, hey. And there was other posts in there that other people were being non-compliant, so I just deleted them and I didn't send them private messages, but the lady that started the post, because it's kind of like the bystanders, right? Somebody does something, the bystanders all get involved, right? So I was taking the coachable moment, and I just said, hey, could you reword it to do this? And then she felt attacked. I can see how that can happen because it's whatever's going on in her world. She's always told she's wrong, like whatever it is, right? I can make up whatever story I want. But at the end of the day, right? Well, her day didn't end because she started again at 6 o'clock this morning when she kept on going. But at the end of your day, look back and say, was it right of me to respond that way? Do I feel good? That's the question. Do I feel good about that interaction? Do I feel good about that response? Because this happens quite a bit. I'm a pretty calm person. Now, can the bitch Barbie Lee come out to play? She sure can. She's fun. So, trigger her enough and she'll come out to play. Often I know when she's coming out to play and I let her out, so I'm still in control. But even this week, a couple of times, there was something posted, and it always seems to happen in writing. It rarely happens face-to-face, because face-to-face, people are like, oh, and then they think about before they speak. But man, on social media, they will just jump in and jump down your throat and start correcting you, and it's a fascinating thing to watch. But if you know that and you can step back. So earlier in the week, another situation happened where, I sent a private message about something and the person got offended. And I'm like, all I'm simply doing is stating what is possible. Not probable, but what's possible. Now, when I do something that triggers somebody into their negative Nelly side, then they go off the handle, they react. But what if I switch it and I show somebody something that is possible? It may not be probable. So for example, how they lose weight, how they're going to gain some income with Isagenix, anything along those lines. And I can tell them what's possible. It may not be probable for them to become an Isagenix millionaire in the next 3 days. It ain't going to happen. But is it possible that over time with the work and the skills? Sure. And they respond differently. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm providing a fact, but the other person is responding according to whatever's going on in their world. And I get that. But do you get that? So do you get that when people are talking to you, they're really talking at you, and it's you who are to interpret what they're trying to say? And if you're unclear, ask. There's a lot of It's not my job to make sure that I communicate myself well to you. Okay? If you want, unless, let me caveat that, because you're like, oh, yeah, you can just say anything you want. No, that's not what I'm talking about. My job is to know my heart, to know my truth, to be true, to speak my truth in a kind and gentle and compassionate way. If you take it wrong, it is your job to say, that hurt. And I can say, okay, so let's talk about this. Let me reword it because I don't want to hurt you. Because I care about my communication. But if you can't tell me that it bothered you, that it hurt, that it triggered something in you because you can't be bothered to do the work on yourself and you just want to blame me for your reaction, then it's a no-win situation for both of us. You're going to attack me, you're going to say bad things about me, and then you're going to think negative things about me, and I'm going to be confused and confounded as to what did I do to cause you to react that way. Okay? So, understand the little pieces. When something triggers you, do you respond or do you react? So this morning, Dwayne said something to me. And I took a breath and I closed my eyes and he goes, oh. I'm like, why did you say it that way? And he goes, yeah, okay. You know, like he realizes that when I take that moment and he's like, oh yeah, I don't know why I say it like that, right? Because it's really important for him and I to communicate well. Like, 30 years, we, kind of sticking this thing out here, right? So my question to you, wow, I've gone way over 10 minutes. My question to you is, do you respond or do you react? And if you're not aware, if you're like, I don't know, I just live, right? Notice how you're feeling. If it feels good, you're probably responding in a healthy way. If it feels bad or like, oh, I needed that release, and then it feels good, that's not the right kind of good, then you're probably reacting. So especially on social media, notice what the conversation is happening. And notice that, is it possible that somebody interpreted your written words with no emojis and no inflection and no capital letters and whatever? Is it possible that somebody interpreted it differently than you intended? And if it's possible, because it always is, if it's possible, can you step back and maybe see it from their perspective? Right? That's all I'm saying. So, do you respond or react? Now, little plug, because we have some products in Isagenix that if you're stressed to the nines and you need to relax, we have these things called adaptogens, and they're in some of our products. So let me know, because it's a way to alleviate the buildup in the body, because when you're feeding your body right, you get to respond differently. People always ask me, how do you have so much energy? How are you always so happy? How are you always so calm? I feed my body the best breakfast ever, and then have a great day.